What's going on? Kind of losing my voice, so I'm gonna try to speak as loud as I can and, you know, try to do my best. But today I'm gonna talk about the impact of e-government on public service efficiency. This is an important topic because governments are increasingly moving services online, and that shift allows how quickly and effectively they can serve citizens. I'll be examining what e-government is, how it improves efficiency, and also some of the challenges that can limit its success. This is a little bit of my topic and research question. My topic focuses on e-government and how it relates to public service efficiency. More specifically, my research question is, how does e-government improve the efficiency of public service delivery? And what challenges limit its effectiveness? I chose this question because a lot of research shows benefits, but I wanted to understand whether those benefits are always guaranteed. So, what is e-government? E-government basically refers to the use of digital technology by governments to provide services to citizens. Instead of going into an office or filling out paper forms, people can now do things like file taxes, apply for permits, or access records online. According to research, this shift is part of a larger digital transformation where governments try to modernize and improve how they operate. It's not just about convenience, it's also about making systems more effective overall. So how does e-government improve efficiency? One of the biggest things I found in my research is that e-government can specifically improve efficiency. For example, it speeds up service delivery because people don't have to wait in line or rely on manual processing. It also reduces paperwork, which lowers administrative costs and minimizes errors. Another benefit is that digital systems help organize information better, which makes it easier for government agencies to manage data and respond to requests more quickly. So now I'm gonna give you a little bit of just evidence from the research. Looking at specific research, I don't know how to say this author's name, but the other one is Anderson, found that e-government improves efficiency by reducing costs and improving service quality. They reviewed multiple studies and showed that digital systems streamline processes and make services more accessible. Another study by Mergel and her co-authors explained that digital transformation helps governments move away from outdated systems and adopt more flexible and efficient ways of working. So overall, the research strongly suggests the idea that e-government can make public services faster and more effective. So here's a little bit of the organizational changes. Something that stood out to me is that the e-government doesn't just make things faster, it actually changes how governments operate. According to Cordella and Tempeni, introducing digital systems often requires organizations to rethink their structure and workflow. This might mean changing how departments communicate or how tasks are completed. Janowski also explains that e-government has evolved over time, moving from simple online services to more complex, integrated systems. So efficiency improvements often come from deeper organizational changes and not just technology itself. So there's some challenges to e-government, and I'm going to talk about it now. Even though there are clear benefits, e-government also comes with some challenges. One major issue is the digital divide, which means not everyone has access to the internet or the skills needed to use online services. Another problem is poor system design. A website is confusing or difficult to use. If a website is confusing or difficult to use, it can actually make things less efficient. There's also resistance to change within government organizations where employees may be hesitant to adopt new systems. I've kind of experienced that in my lifetime as well. When I used to go to, I think it's called DHS, Department of Health Services and stuff like that, so I can get health care, and just that whole process with what I had going on was pretty difficult in terms of me not being able to figure stuff out online and having to go in person. This next part is just a little bit of the research that was talked about for the challenges. The research backs this up as well. Roland and Horon explains that efficiency gains depend heavily on how well systems are designed and implemented. If the system isn't user-friendly, people won't use it effectively. Heeks also points out that many e-government projects fail or underperform because of weak infrastructure or poor planning. So while the potential for efficiency is there, it's not always guaranteed. It really depends on just the execution overall. A key takeaway is what I'm going to talk about next. The main takeaway from my research is that e-government does improve efficiency in many cases, but it's not always automatic. It depends on factors like system design, access to technology, and how well governments manage the transition. So it's not just about going digital, it's also about doing it the right way. Alright, I'm talking about my research experience. For this project, I used a mix of traditional and AI-based research tools. I used library databases like Business Source Ultimate and Science Direct to find peer-reviewed articles. I also used Google Scholar because it's quick and easy to search. On top of that, I tried AI tools like Skype and ResearchRabbit, which helped me find related articles and see how different studies connect with each other. There were some challenges in my research. One challenge I ran into was finding researches that specifically focused on efficiency. It's not just e-government in general. A lot of articles talked broadly about digital government without going into detail about efficiency. I also had to learn how to use some of the newer tools, which took some time. this is how my strategy changed. At the beginning, my research was pretty broad. I was just searching e-government, which gave me a lot of general information, like on Google and stuff. Over time, I started using more specific keywords like efficiency and public service delivery, which helped me find more relevant sources. I also started focusing more on high quality, peer-reviewed articles instead of just anything I could find. Like especially when I was doing my citations, and I would type in Google e-government and stuff like that, and I just wasn't finding the best stuff. So yeah, focus more on finding the peer-reviewed articles because they're more credible anyways. Here's some tools I'll keep using. Going forward, I'll definitely keep using Google Scholar because it's simple and effective. I'll also continue using library databases since they provide the most reliable sources. Out of the AI tools, I found Skype especially useful because it showed how articles are cited, which helps you understand their credibility. It's a little bit of my personal reflection. This project made me realize that technology alone doesn't automatically improve systems. It really depends on how it's implemented. I also found it interesting how something like e-government, which seems pretty simple on the surface, actually involves a lot of complex factors like organizational change and accessibility. This topic matters because e-government affects everyday services that people rely on. Things like taxes, licenses, and applications. Understanding how it works is important especially as more systems become digital. It also connects to real-world issues like accessibility and efficiency in organizations. Here's my conclusion. To wrap everything up, e-government has a strong impact on improving public service efficiency by making processes faster, cheaper, and more organized. However, challenges like poor design, lack of access, and resistance to change can limit its effectiveness. Moving forward, the success of e-government will depend on how well these systems are designed and implemented. Yeah, that's the conclusion. Thanks for listening, and I appreciate you letting me get this to you. Have a good one.